Hey everybody, today's lesson is on operations with scientific notation. Remember that a number in scientific notation is a number that is expressed with the decimal after the first non-zero digit, and it is multiplied times 10 to some power. So when you are needing to do addition or subtraction or multiplication or division with these numbers, there is a certain method to follow. First, we're going to talk about addition. What I would recommend is to convert each number to standard form before you try to add. So if you see numbers in scientific notation, remember to convert to standard form. We will take our 10 to the power that we see and move that decimal in the direction that it needs to go. So this is the power of positive 2. So we would move our decimal over 2 spots to the right and fill in our zeros, our placeholder zeros is what we call those, to get 450. That is the standard form of this scientific notation number, 4.5 times 10 to the 2. So if I needed to add 4.5 times 10 to the 2 plus 6.97 times 10 to the third, the second number, I would proceed to convert both of these to standard form. You can see this second one needs to be moved 3 spaces to the right because of that positive power of 3, arriving at 6,970. And now I can easily add these two standard form numbers together. Alright, so you can see that here. 450 plus 6,970 equals our standard form here, 7,420. But if we needed to write our answer in scientific notation as the problem started, then we would go back and convert this to scientific notation. So remember, when we're trying to write in scientific notation, we will want the decimal after the first non-zero number, which is our 7. So we've placed it here. And we need to look to see from where our decimal was to where our decimal is that we're inserting it. How many spaces is that? Let's count. So if we have put it after the 7, and it was after that 0 up here at the top, that's 3 spaces. We would need to move this decimal 3 spaces to the right to arrive at that 7,420 number. So that's why my power on 10 is going to be 3. So here is my answer in scientific notation. 7.42 times 10 to the third. That was addition, and subtraction is going to work the same way. You're going to want to convert to standard form and then subtract your numbers and convert back if needed. Alright, let's look at multiplication. The method for this is going to be to multiply the two front numbers, and then we're going to add the powers to create our new number in scientific notation. And sometimes when we calculate these, we're going to need to adjust to get them back to the proper form of scientific notation. I'll show you an example that shows this. Okay, so here we need to multiply 6.78 times 10 to the third by 4.92 times 10 to the fifth. So the method is going to be to take these first front numbers and multiply, and I've done that here. Alright, and we got 33.3576 and just round it off there at that digit. And then if we add our powers, 3 plus 5, we're going to get 8. So now we can form our number. 33.3576 times 10 to the 8th power. Now this is not proper scientific notation because our decimal needs to be after the first non-zero digit, so we are going to adjust that. See how we have moved the decimal from this spot to the spot just after that first non-zero digit there, after the first 3. Okay, when we did that, we need to adjust our power at the end on our 10. So we moved our decimal in one spot, which means instead of having a positive 8, we're now going to need to have a positive 9. So our new adjusted scientific notation number is seen here, 3.33576 times 10 to the 9th. Okay, let's talk about division. It's going to work much in the same way. Instead of multiplying those two front numbers, we're going to be dividing them, and then from there on it's the same. We're going to subtract our two power numbers and adjust if needed. Alright, so I've shown you an example here taking those same numbers. If we divided instead, we would have 0.73, and then subtract our powers. 5 minus 3 equals 2. Okay, so my new number is going to be 0.73 times 10 to the second. But that is not proper scientific notation, so we're going to adjust it, making sure that that decimal is after the first non-zero digit. I had to move my decimal one spot to the right to make this happen. So instead of a power of 2, I'm going to have a power of 1 on my final answer. And you don't have to show a power of 1. Instead, you can just have times 10 without showing that power of 1 because it's implied if it is truly a power of 1. And this concludes our lesson on operations with scientific notation.